minutes from last week, I'm gonna hand them to you.
Like I said,
I don't wanna take them
my
home.
knees are worn out.
Thank you.
Did you do this before?
Oh, yeah, I always do that, take home stuff.
That looks awfully thick though.
It's a lot of budget stuff in it. All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Selectmen meeting for today. It is now, time is, Dave, what do you have for the time? Give me my time. 7:06 PM?
7:06 is good.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order for the Selectmen meeting Thursday, January 25th. All three Selectmen are present. Town administrator's here. Recording secretary is here. Leo Martell's recording the meeting for the public. Town officials here. We have the two officers, Officer Remoulade and Chief. We also have the town transfer station manager. Okay, the first thing I have, we did the non-public already, and we have some old business. Before we go to approve the minutes from last week, we have minutes from 2 weeks ago, which we tabled because we didn't have them, but we have them this evening. These are for the minutes, non-public minutes for Thursday, January 11th. I need motions to accept them. One will be sealed and one is not sealed as per the non-public session.
Do we have to do them separate, or you wanna do them both?
They're separate because one's sealed and one is not.
Okay.
And here's one right here. This is the non-sealed one.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the unsealed, non-public January 11th, meeting minutes.
Any second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Did I hear you say second?
Yes.
Thank you.
And the motion to accept the non-public meeting held on January 11th. And they don't have any RSA here, so.
Oh, you have to get it?
Yes, it's not on here.
It's,
You need the time, it's
It's not on here.
Oh, thank you.
it should be C.
So I'll make a motion to accept these and seal them. It's in the motion.
I'll second that. You need to sign them, Bob?
Did I actually forget to put the house in?
It should be C.
No, it's right there.
Yeah, it's there.
It's
Oh,
there.
I thought you'd have it at the top.
Oh, it's here right before the,
No, it's in the motion. It doesn't go right top, it goes in the motion.
I'll second Bob's motion. And the time
All in
on
favor?
these,
Aye.
and the time on these minutes are 8:42 PM.
This is street.
I'll try and read you the time from now on.
Okay, we're clear on the minutes from the 11th. Now we can move on to the meeting of the 18th.
I'll make a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes on the 18th as amended.
Second.
And I thought they were well written. We made a few small changes, Cory. I think you saw the changes already. All in favor?
Aye.
What was last week?
The 18th.
18th, okay.
Time on?
Time was at 7:03.
You should have the little sponge to do that with. Because when I cut my tongue, it's.
Workers' comp.
Confirmed.
That was coming.
Actually, I don't think elected officials are coming under workers' comp. Cause you're paid whether or not the name goes under the insurance.
Link is on Bob's signature.
Jump that. Oh. We don't have a need for that right now, right?
No, no, I didn't cut my tongue yet.
It's kind of a commercial one, the paper cuts. Signed one. Those are on the 11th.
Right, but,
8:42 PM.
8:42.
Yep.
Okay. No, Dean, those are minutes for your,
Those are regular.
minutes from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so you,
Those are from last week.
Did you already-
All signed, already done.
oh, it was, so they're.
And sealed minutes.
Seal.
And then those.
Okay. We are done with minutes. Thank you. Now, I'm gonna open up public comment. I'm gonna start with Leo, anything for public comment?
Not right now, thanks.
Okay, I'll get you on the return,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Gentlemen, you're on the agenda, so if you have public comment, that's one thing.
No, I stopped down to see the Stock Bridge, I looked in there, it was gone.
Your pictures are very cool.
Yeah, it's rolling along pretty good.
Yeah.
They did on
So
this.
yeah,
Thing
I
is,
saw Chuck Williamson yesterday, he told me it was.
I
Gonna
thought it was
have to get the
scheduled for
AED
middle of
out.
February, so he's already working.
no, it's good stuff.
Right, he's
Yeah.
gonna start excavation, probably.
yeah, public comment now, Woody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Leo, he had a delay on a previous job, so
Yeah.
he was able to come a little quicker and let you.
Nice, oh, that's good news, that's really
So
good.
he might
news.
have to hop off it and go back and wrap up the other one, but,
Yeah,
Start.
yeah.
Okay, close public comment, we're back to town business. And I'm gonna talk about, Woody, I have your emails, if you want, since you're here, I'm gonna take advantage of the fact you're here.
Okay.
We have some emails, from Woody, I just, these are for the warrants. He was looking at 3 brands of vehicles, and if you wanna look at them with me. I saw we have the Ford, we have the Ford and the Chevrolet and the Chevy, and we're still working on the price for the Dodge. I'm happy with either one of these two, in fact, I'm like the Chevy prices already.
well, I think.
One thing I did notice in this quote, and I confirmed it with him today,
Which one?
the Chevrolet,
Yeah,
was that there's like, there's $100 difference between the standard cab and what's the extended cab. And that extended cab, because Chevy's website is pretty tough to manipulate,
okay,
it is quoted, because I told them it needed to have an 8-foot bed. And so it's quoted extended, it's not extended cab anymore, they call it a super cab.
okay,
And it does have an 8-foot box on it, so it's very similar to this truck that we have right now, size-wise.
okay. Now, the thing is, there's an advantage of having extended, I mean, the extra space in the back, where you have
Yes.
something small, you don't have stuff blown all over the place.
Right,
And you kinda alluded to that before.
right.
And
I mean, we
that's
still need to do
the cover for us.
some kind of, it doesn't have to be anything fancy.
Right.
You know, you can get a cover we can put on it for a couple $100 kind
Right.
of thing. You know, 300, 400, 500, whatever it is, not much. But we still need to do something.
Right,
You know, the
But it-
less the guys have to pick stuff up on the side of the road, the better we are.
absolutely. You have the chief coming out after you for littering.
Yeah. I try to get it before he gets me.
So I don't know, the Chevrolet then is not bad then.
Yeah, I didn't think so, and the color would be white. I asked, for a color, he asked me for a color preference, I said I prefer green, cause it will match our roll-off truck.
Yeah,
However, green is about an additional $600, and it's a time build, in other words, they have to have, I think he said, 5 to 6 more trucks in that color green before the factory will build it.
okay.
Where white is a standard color, and it's something they'll build regular.
I'm not particular about color, but what about you gentlemen? I need colors.
Is this, so none of those were on the lot to speak of?
I think it's a build truck, because it's through the state bid, through the state bid process. It's a basic truck, there's no bells and whistles to it, other than I asked it for heated mirrors, and that's more for a safety thing than anything. Basic work interior, no power windows, it was, it has air conditioning, cause that's standard. Vinyl floors, it's a basic work truck.
Are we gonna talk about how the warrant article reflects this struck down?
Yeah, I thought you
Is this the
would.
number that we're gonna be using?
We're gonna talk about that right now.
Okay.
Well, what my thought was, is we had already established an amount for that truck.
Yeah, we,
Anything above and beyond that 27 and change that we had.
I think the way you should really do it is to do them, it's only like from what I can see here, $800, $500 difference?
Difference.
From what, a draft number from what we had from.
What was our draft number?
Our draft number was 27,425,
Yeah,
of which 3,425 came from the sale of the dumpsters.
yeah.
And so I gave him a number to work with and try to work with. This is only $500 more, you can use that from surplus. Just,
Oh, I thought we had already
I
applied
don't-
our money from surplus.
well, that was from the sale of the dumpsters that went into surplus, but you
No.
can increase that surplus number.
Yeah, but we had put our money from surplus.
Yeah, but we're looking at $500 towards the operating budget, is what you're saying.
Well, no, we did the 126,000,
Yeah,
towards our operating budget, we were to take the balance of that and put it towards the rainy day fund, let's say.
Correct,
So you're saying reduce the rainy day fund?
by $500. That's, I mean, it's cleaner that way, and it's not
I don't mind doing
spending
that,
something
if
in
that's,
your budget.
I don't mind
this
doing
year.
that if that's cleaner, but that's just for the basic truck.
Correct, so I'd be increasing the total sum of, to this number, and then to increase, to reword this, in the sale of the dumpster and fund surplus, adding that word for a total amount of,
So just so you're clear, Woody, what we're doing is looking at paying for this basic 2,500 truck
Yeah,
as part of your warrant article, with the monies left over from your dumpsters in
Yeah.
combination, but that's the basic truck. Any of what we're calling the bells and whistles, i.e. the plow, to
Yeah.
help you out in future years,
yeah,
the bed liner, any lifts you wanna put on, any of the additional items can either come out of your $14,000 worth of vehicle maintenance budget, and or if you wait an additional year, like, you may get away this year without the plow on it, and the following year put the plow on it,
okay.
and we can adjust that, but what we wanna do is make sure you're covered with this vehicle now to replace your other vehicle, and kinda handle the additional items you wanna add to that truck as separate issues, so that we're not overburdening the taxpayers or anybody else to replace that truck.
Is another option to reduce the 20,000 going into the fund? Reduce that by 10 and put the additional amount, so you get the truck in one lump sum done. You know what I'm saying?
I-
Instead of putting 20,000 into surplus,
To your capital reserve fund.
capital reserve
But
fund.
your capital reserve fund is what we wanna try and do.
it's gonna be
now.
down to $500 after this.
Yeah, so we put 10,000 in it, or
Yeah.
15,000, put 5,000, so the truck's done in one deal. Cause if the next, I'm only saying this. 'cause
His
if the-
warrant
if the-
article, the line above this one,
Right,
was for the 20,000 for the replacement of the roll-off
correct, but
truck.
the problem with that is I think we were trying to get you a truck.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of a truck passing with no tax impact is a given. I think that if you present it properly, the cost you've put into it for repairs, there's no tax rate impact, we're using, your capital reserve fund, and you're using the surplus you got from the sale of your dumpsters. That's a given, that the vote will go through for that.
If you
Just-
start adding the
If
plow
you
and all
start
the other
adding
items, and we have,
10,000, that's gonna be
Yeah.
another impact,
So,
it could go both ways.
on the numbers, I don't have numbers in front of me, the
Right.
numbers you're working with, you took the 450 off for the bed liner?
we just used
Or
the basic
basic-
amount you had for the
27
truck was 27 and change, for your
Yeah.
basic
Is
standard
that
truck.
is that the standard cab, or is that the extended?
That's your
cab?
standard cab.
But
Yeah.
it'll be $200 more for the extended cab, you said, or
I
I
think
don't
it
know.
was 100 or 200, something like that.
So
I
what
don't
they're-
have the number in
I
front of
have
me.
the email right here, I printed it off, but what I think he's saying is, you have options listed, 175.
Yeah. and
Bed
then-
liner 450, heated mirrors 900.
Yeah,
So they're saying this is gonna be bare bones to get you a new truck. If you think it's critical that you have
Heated mirrors, take it out of
heated
your
mirror
$14,000.
and bed
you
liner
can't
out of
say
your
one
budget,
more.
then
okay,
you do
yeah, cause
that.
that's something that has to be done up front. You
That's
can't-
right.
It's not an aftermarket ad.
So what I'm saying is if the
Right, but-
budget passes and you purchase this truck
Yeah.
after town meeting,
Yeah,
if you wanna use your additional $14,000 line,
okay,
put the heated mirrors on,
Yeah,
then we can okay that, but
The
you're
rest
using
will
your
go to
own
your
money to
budget.
do it basically.
now,
Taking a little bit out of your operating budget for the year.
right, are you leaning towards, I mean, I just soon lean towards the bigger truck than the standard cab, if there's that little difference in it.
Oh,
Cause in the
totally
scheme
agree.
of things,
yeah,
when you go to resell that truck, you know, well, like the one we have now will actually bring more money than if it was a standard cab, because it's an extra
In
cab.
fact, that's the other thing we gotta consider. It doesn't have any residual value, your vehicle.
I don't think as a trade-in, in my personal opinion, I mean, I'll ask them, but I think that you would be better off to either Craigslist it or state auction it.
Oh,
That would be my
So
suggestion.
again, if you sell that truck, that may pay for some of your features that you.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Put a seat cover on it first.
yeah,
So in other words, what we're trying to do is pay for the basic truck with no tax impact to the voters.
okay,
And then any additional accessories, you know, we can look at them as you
Right.
get prices on them,
okay,
out of your budget.
okay,
And whether your budget includes the sale of that truck or your 14,000 that you have in there for your maintenance.
It's,
I think that we have to have a plan, cause I'm sure we're gonna get asked or I'm gonna get asked, what will happen with the funds from that old truck. So I think we need to have something, a plan, whether it's going back to this capital reserve fund, or whether it's gonna be used out, you're gonna have to
How
have
you
some kind
handle
of.
that, Woody, is when you sell the truck and you get the money and I get the check,
Yeah.
I have to put it on the agenda under RSA for
Okay.
unanticipated, and that's when they discuss it. They
Okay,
can
so the
say,
money, okay,
we're gonna put this in the capital reserve, we're gonna put it in the general fund,
Okay.
or,
Or we put it in your capital reserve towards,
Right.
okay,
But
you
also,
don't need
Woody,
to include that as part of the warrant.
okay,
but as a department head,
Yep.
when you get up there in front of the voters, you can say that, you know, you're anticipating funds from the sale of the old truck, although may not be, major funds, you're gonna anticipate asking the selectmen to put them into your capital reserve for your department or whatever.
right,
So you can state that as what you request, you know, when you're up there talking to the voters, because ultimately it's for your department.
right, okay,
And I may also just say, I think I heard he said that it's the super cab is $100 more.
yeah, I think it's 100 or 200, I have the actual,
Okay, I've got your email here, but I don't have that $100, but this number below 28,000 is, I think, that $100 would put it over 28,000, so. However,
Again, anything he wants to, I think we should stick to that number.
Yeah,
And anything you wanna do above and beyond that number, whether it's a bed liner or the extended cab,
Yeah.
it's gonna come out of your working capital.
so,
Yeah.
I just don't wanna deceive the voters, if they think they're voting on a standard cab truck and we show up with an extended cab truck, that, to me, that's deceiving the voters.
Now, when you, I don't know if we're gonna put the description of the truck,
No,
we're gonna
we
put a
don't.
dollar amount in there of the truck you're gonna
up
replace.
to, that's it, that's all
Okay.
you're discussing, Woody.
And we're not
And-
gonna talk about what type of cab it has or anything
Okay.
else. So when
Right,
you get up
the
there for
color
the
or
voters,
anything like that, but the super cab, I think, makes sense, because you have a lot of trash you pick up that will fly out of the bed unless you can really stuff it, that's what you guys do, is
Right.
all the stuff that's fly away goes into the passenger seat, into that small section in the back. So if he doesn't need the extended cab, but he wants enough room to put the extra loose material, then it's a no-brainer that, he should order that with that part,
yeah, I think we're
that
good.
accessory.
We all agree with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
so basically it's worded
Up to that much,
to replace the current vehicle.
correct.
No detail to, okay,
No, yeah,
no detail, I don't think there needs to be any, just
No.
replacing that vehicle for that.
And the thing is, if it comes up and says, is a vehicle that cheap? And they said, well, it may cost a few dollars more, but if it costs a few dollars more for any accessories, it's gonna come out of my operating budget.
for any additional costs.
Right.
Okay,
And that's how we're gonna work it, because, the bed liner, the heated mirrors, and the thing is the extended cab, we're talking about maybe $2,000. You absorb that within your budget, and hopefully, not only within your budget, you may be able to recoup at least half of that from the sale of the truck too. So that's a win-win.
And if you wanna wait a year to do the plow on it, that then comes out of your budget the following year,
okay,
and you've gotten away without a plow thus far.
right,
So if you wanna wait, I think a plow on the truck makes good sense, but if you wanna wait another year, it's your department, so I think you get plenty of time to do that.
okay,
Okay, I think we're good.
so we're all on the same page, that's good.
all right. that's
Okay.
the number.
So that took care of the warrant, Article 9 and 10, we're good to go with that.
So Lean, you're gonna adjust it by the $500 to
Correct,
make that price
and then
correct.
I'll just reword it, so it's the sale of the dumpsters and fund surplus to increase that dollar amount, which is
Now, you didn't talk about the Dodge.
nine.
I'm still waiting for a quote.
Okay, if it's nothing earth shattering about the Dodge, I'm not, I think they're all about the same.
The only, like I said in email, the only difference that I've ever found is that typically the Ford and the Dodge, they set higher off the ground. Makes it a little more difficult getting in and out of it, as far as in the back.
So Chevy's a win-win.
They're a little lower they have tendency to be lower to the ground.
Okay,
I don't know about the new stuff, that's only what I've seen in the past.
okay.
And again, if he's got this dollar amount to work with, and he decides that the Ford comes in $2,000 less, and he
Right.
get more features, it's not the make that you're voting on, it's the
Right.
dollar amount
Yeah.
that you're
Okay.
voting on.
So we're all good, so that can be decided down the road.
Right,
Okay,
And Woody, one other thing I wanna tell you is Jeff Crosby, has stated to me in the past that sometimes those state bids, they're for such a truck and such a base level, so they start there and then they add things on. He said a lot of times you can go to the dealership and actually find a truck that's been on the lot,
yeah,
and maybe it's a leftover, whatever, still a brand new truck with the same warranty. So you might be able to buy a white one or a green one on the lot
yeah,
for that dollar
yeah, that's
amount,
definitely an
and
option.
maybe have more features. So you don't have to go by that state bid if it doesn't make you in a better position.
Right, yeah, it means definitely you can,
Sometimes a dealer may wanna unload it, one on the
Right.
lot, then order it.
yeah,
right, That will be, then, you know, once they approve it, then can
So Mark,
contact the dealer
yeah,
and go look and see what they actually have on
Yep.
the lot. and
exactly.
Make a
And
decision.
I think just as you've done, you know, come back to the selectmen, show us what you found
Right,
in there. and then-
Right, yeah, I'm not make no decisions without,
Right,
All right,
I'm good.
I'm good, Bob, you good? Okay.
Are we gonna go to Woody's other issue?
what you gotta want to tell me.
Maintenance?
Yeah.
of the truck?
Yeah, the other email was the Mac. I got your email from Mac
Yeah.
today. This was just general town business.
Okay, oh, let me give you copies of this.
That's the email.
Is that the only two that you gave them, the Mack
Did
truck
you,
number
we
and
ever
then
get
the?
to talk to
Chevy
Woody about the other
purchase
company?
And there was one that sent to the Ford, but
He doesn't think he works on the
Okay,
Ford
I can
truck,
see that
so
one.
check, but
Okay,
my suggestion is on this is that we get a couple more estimates. That's a lot of work.
Right,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to give you these.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Can I make copies for them later, for you?
Yeah.
The toner's out, so I'm gonna show place it.
So that's where I wanted to go.
All right,
with
let's
that.
talk about that. What warrant article, what warrant?
Well,
That's
it's
number
not
11?
really,
Number 11, yeah, it is. 11.
right, but we're just doing, are we doing a dollar value on number 11?
Yes, we were.
We were. How much longer do we have before we need to finalize that?
You have it right up before your public hearing if you wanna.
So you got one quote for about 17.5, this is on the Mac.
right,
One quote for 17.5. Which company was that, may I, just out of
one
curiosity?
in Bow.
The one above?
There's another one in Bow, but I stopped by there and not sure what's happening. 'cause
Okay.
The person does all the quoting got injured.
Okay.
I told him I'd
What-
stop by.
Dave gave you one too, maybe?
Yeah, I know.
Just
Yeah,
tonight?
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I'll give him a call.
All right, so right now we have a penciled in 17.5, a little bit high, but we just wanna see where that comes
Yeah.
up. And the thing is, the other thing was a roller system,
Right,
the cable cover system, which is another expense, son.
right.
It's gonna be in the same warrant,
That's what I kinda thought.
yeah.
Okay.
But I want to put a note in there because both companies, they're waiting for the manufacturer to give them pricing. They've been in touch with the manufacturer, the manufacturer still hasn't been back to them.
Okay,
I contacted them again today,
okay.
they're
So
waiting.
we got a little more time on that.
Well, I'm pushing them, cause
Okay.
I told them, I don't have much time left, I need an
Yeah,
answer.
okay. So you,
And in that, because there's nothing figured,
For
that
repair
truck's
or-
gonna be down for, they say 2 to 3 weeks. I'm figuring a little more because you just don't know what happens. You know, something can go wrong and it could be 3.5, 4 weeks, you're gonna have to cover those loads.
So is
That's why I
that
figured.
2,400 a full month?
That's basically 4 weeks,
4 weeks.
and that's rough. My thought is, just as I would, like, say, when I go on vacation, I empty everything. And you're gonna have 2 loads of trash a week. So in a month, that's 8 loads, figure 4 weeks, that's 8 loads.
So
I'm
that's
figuring,
1,600.
depending on the time of year, you're gonna have probably 2 loads of steel and 2 loads of demo.
And who is
I
gonna
got
haul them?
from, the contractor we have right now, Zero Waste, he gave me a number,
Okay.
that's who I got the price from.
Now, I'm just gonna throw this out there, so you have 3 warrant articles, one for $20,000 for your capital reserve fund. And then we're gonna do the new pickup truck, and then we're doing maintenance on the Mack truck. Do you think, because of the impact on the other 2, should we try and eliminate one of those 3 warrant articles?
eliminate in the sense that,
I'm looking at, the voters putting 20,000 for capital reserve fund, right?
right,
For the replacement of the Mack someday. We're getting a brand new truck here for him, all in 1 year, and then we're looking to spend almost just under $20,000 maintaining a truck, cause that $20,000 doesn't include the repair on the roll-off cover either, if you look at his notes.
no,
Right.
right.
So we don't have a price on that, that's just the truck?
That's just the 17.5, is just the.
So, I agree with where you're coming with,
So I'm thinking, one of them warrant articles, your new truck, your pickup truck, I think is a definite, you know, we have good numbers on that.
Yep.
We've had our time to do our due diligence. But I think, looking at these warrant articles, one of them other 2 on this particular year ought to be dropped. Whether it's you do the plain 20,000 in the capital reserve fund, and then use that capital reserve to repair this truck, or you repair that truck only.
Which is current balance in the capital reserve right now?
After
It's
we
nothing.
spend this down, there'll be $500 or less in there. So this, if you add this.
So we have no money, in other words, we'd be deferring any maintenance on this transfer station Mack truck, that's the.
Or you eliminate that and have these two warrant articles.
But the thing is, if you eliminate that, we don't have any money for the
No, no.
buy the new pickup.
Oh, no, there's money there.
There's money in there.
There's money there.
You're
Okay.
using the money to do that.
So how much, that's my question, we have how much?
Oh, there's 20,500.
All right, by 20
And the balance is coming up.
Or
from what
actually
we-
24 something, cause the combination
Combination of these two equals the 20.
Okay.
is what we have in capital reserve plus this surplus.
So, to
So,
me,
the
I'm
thing is-
going to the voter,
In other words, we eliminate this one, this is required.
that's right. Or
This-
if you do this one, leave that one off the books and use your capital reserve fund to repair this vehicle. Don't hit the voters with both of them in 1 year.
So are you saying to vote on the capital reserve and spend down the capital reserve again?
That's
Either
what he's
do,
about.
either do that, or do the maintenance on the truck and take that 20,000 off the books altogether for the
Okay.
voters this year.
Cause the 20,000 warrant is a 7 cent impact, and then this one I just calculated would be 6 cents.
No, but once you get the cover on there too, we don't even have the price on the cover.
So they're both gonna be about 7
7
cents is what I'm
cents, yeah.
figuring.
If it was my choice, I would rather fix that truck than to put money in the capital reserve. We could put money into it the following year.
That's what
I would
David's.
rather, yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm looking at that vehicle, if we maintain that vehicle now, there's a good 5 to 7 years left in that vehicle, if it's maintained properly now, so that capital reserve fund of 20,000 doesn't need to be done this year or started.
Right,
We can start that next year, we'd have 5 years to build it up to 100 grand, we'd be halfway there for a new truck or whatever. So, I think one of them ought to come off that
Number 9.
warrant.
Is that?
Bob, what do you think?
What's that?
He's considering eliminating number 9.
Eliminating number 9, which
Yeah.
is at 20,000.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Bob? I think it's too much,
I think so.
because you're gonna get up there and explain that to the voters, asking for 3 warrant articles.
right. Well, the other thing is you're gonna you have other departments that need things too.
Right.
So, you might, maybe next year, the need's not as great, so instead of putting 20 in, you might be able to put 30 in, or 35, or
Well,
whatever.
let's look at it, next year, you're not gonna need a new pickup. Next year, you're not gonna need maintenance on the Mac.
Right,
So next year, even if you did 20 or 25 for your capital reserve
Right.
fund,
you're ahead of the game.
I can just see you starting off the next year's discussion by saying, last year we voted this, we spent this many dollars to maintain the Mac. It's got at least 5 more years left. It costs this much. We've gotta start the capital reserve fund for the replacement for 8 years down from the road from now.
Right, and you're gonna have other stuff at some point that's gonna come up as well, at some
Yeah.
point.
so,
We're in consensus.
as a department head, you're okay with that?
Yeah, I would, like I said, I would rather fix that
Do we
truck.
wanna make a motion on it, or do we
No,
need to?
no, just tell me, take it off.
Okay,
The consensus,
If the
take number 9
consensus is
off.
take 9 off, I can do that.
Okay, so
I just
that's,
think it'll go better to the voters when you're in there asking for these other items.
Okay.
I do
so
too.
we just need a better number for,
Yeah,
for
for
number
Mac.
11.
Yeah, I'll get on that, so I'll get on them.
As best you can, well, you got some time. We
Yeah,
got
yeah,
some
but I
time.
don't want them to, I don't want
What's the
them to-
date we have, Lean, that he needs to have?
Date
it?
certain.
Let's see here. We
It's
have,
not very far away.
No, it's not.
we have our public hearing on the 8th, so
Yeah, you got about a
you
week.
really should try to have it here so the
Think you
board
can get
can
a couple more
decide
bids at least in a
by
week?
next
I'll see
week.
what I can do.
Cause
Another week?
today's the 25th, so next
Okay.
week, Thursday, they should really look at a final.
Okay. No, February 8th.
February
Meeting.
is the meeting.
That's a public hearing, right?
Public hearing, yeah.
So,
I'd like to have a minimum of 3.
yeah, for the goal for next week.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's great, that cleared up some of the interesting
And Woody,
things.
do you really need to get it in writing from them, so that we know that when we decide to go with that company, we can hold them to that
That's
quote?
a, no, that's a good pickup, I like that.
I started looking at it as we're talking about, it, I'm like, that's way too much for one department to go in front of the voters for, they're gonna get knocked down.
Well, what about that police vehicle too? You didn't catch the humor.
We're not asking for any this year, hopefully not next year.
Where guns are.
Both of them?
Always.
Okay,
Let's continue on.
thank you, Woody.
Yeah, we're good. All right, Woody, while you're here, I did get something in the mailbox pertaining, since you're here, I thought you may wanna comment on it. And Lean, I don't know if you did not see this, but it's the envelope, please. Northeast Recovery Association, Resource Recovery Association, you familiar with that?
Yes,
Are we members of that?
yes.
Okay, they're asking us for money, I believe, again?
Yeah, we pay, it's like, is it $194 a year in dues?
Correct.
It's based off, like 7 cents per capita. It's at the bottom of the budget.
Right, so you have it included in
It's
the
$193,
budget. It's
okay.
already in this budget.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that was the same thing.
Yes, actually, yeah, you wouldn't have seen it yet, Lean, anyways, but they, forwarded the stuff to go into town report. They usually send over
Yeah.
documents, I forwarded those to you.
Okay, yep.
Okay, if you wanna take a gander at this, I'll hand it off to you and then return it back to Lean.
I think he has a copy, don't they usually give you a personal copy of the envelope? They CC you?
No, I don't think I have that copy. I'll look at it tomorrow.
She just wants to write the name down.
Yeah, I'll be here
One
tomorrow.
day next week, I'll grab it.
Yeah, I'll have it up here, please review it, you're a leader. And, it's a $193 bill.
Yeah, and he includes it in his
Yeah,
budget
it's,
every year.
if you look at my budget, it's right at the
Okay,
bottom.
I wanna make sure it was the same thing.
Yes.
Good. Okay, in a moment, I'm still going,
Hey, hit all the mail so we wouldn't see it. Takes everything home now.
Did you have anything in there, Lon?
I'm going through the mailbox. The thing is, we have this 2018 New Hampshire Rhodes Scholar Directory. And when I said Rhodes Scholar, I said, what do you mean by Rhodes Scholar? And the thing is, what a pun on words. Rhodes Scholar, not the, obviously it's beyond people's heads, I'm sorry.
I don't even think we even look at it.
All right, this is New Hampshire Road Scholar. Obviously, this continuing education for road agents and anyone interested in anything
Is that what
about
that is?
roads.
Okay.
And it's sponsored by the New Hampshire, state of New Hampshire, and, there's all sorts of education about workshops. And they went through what they offered in 2017 from culvert maintaining,
Yeah,
roadside mowing,
okay, so I should go to the road agent.
exactly.
Okay.
And for anyone who's interested in becoming a road agent.
Are we gonna send you up to the bridge one?
But I think there's actually costs associated with these.
Yes.
They're not cheap. Right. Here's the
Good,
word.
sounds awesome.
And those are the only two items in the mailbox, gentlemen, I opened up this evening.
So that's in the mailbox?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's gonna be passed on to the road agent. I did pass everyone also an updated copy of the selectmen's message. You can pass one to Lean.
Oh, yeah.
I reviewed it, I think that those, changes you made worked out well, and
Okay? I want to thank my fellow selectmen for the input.
Oh, did you send it to me in my email? I
Not
didn't
yet.
see it, okay. Oh, good.
Okay,
That's good.
so we'll work on that. All right, I'm gonna open up for public comment again.
They're not on the,
They're in the, non-public.
oh, okay, all right. So, I do have something.
Yes,
All right. You talked about the bridge, the new bridge.
yes.
Well, we had a meeting yesterday, but you talked to Donna, I guess, today, Donna Dunn?
I did briefly, yes.
Yeah, okay, and, at our meeting, DHAC meeting, we were discussing, we're working on the master plan.
Yes.
And, so we're talking about the significance of having these new roads. In the past master plan, it was mentioned that the new roads should try to be named, something that was historical,
Okay,
and it's not happening,
on the planning level, Leo?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly, I did actually talk to Ken Swayze on the way out today, and he agreed with me, he said, yes, it is. But it's up to the developer ultimately, but the planning board can recommend the name. to
I don't
the-
think was it ever mentioned to the planning board that you would like to see this from your historic, committee?
No, we get we're working on the master plan ourselves, our.
Section, yeah.
Right, exactly, the heritage section,
Yeah,
historical
yeah.
heritage section.
That's kind of.
So,
for the
So-
future, we should probably incorporate that concept.
well, yeah, that's what we were hoping to, because as they said, John and
Ken,
Ken said, you guys can change those names anytime, but can we just, maybe we could do this, head it off and do it at the beginning? And like I told Ken, if the planning board recommends that the builder does this, maybe they'll follow suit with this.
I think that'd be we could almost, create a policy letter
Because
that we highly
well,
recommend.
Well, right, and it's, see, like I explained to Donnie yesterday, the way it works is the builder, developer comes to the planning board first anyways. So at that point, the planning board could recommend, you know, that, okay, yes, blah, blah, and also this is what we like to see, you know, and like Ken said, you can't force them to do that, but you recommend to do that.
But at the same time, it'd be nice to have a list of canned names, historical names that
I
we'd
was
like to
gonna
include.
Well, you can do
Just that.
that, sure, right, and I mean.
Can I ask a question on that,
Sure,
because I've
of
been
course,
gone
of
for a
course,
week?
yeah.
That's a really interesting idea, again, a list for the
Yep,
planning board to
yeah.
make a recommendation, but how do you tie that into historic? I mean, I could see like Stone Road, where the Stone family came, so you wanna try to, any,
Right, but
You
there's a
wrote-
lot of different, say, families of significance, or even past occurrences. You know, we have a lot of roads in town. Guinea Road wasn't named after Mr. Guinea, it was named after the people who were from, was it New Guinea?
yes.
You know?
Yeah, yeah,
And there's
But that's
historical
history,
significance, Fred was talking to us about a road, it's called, Whitetail Road,
yes,
okay? And he said, and he showed us where it was, cause he said he didn't even know there was a road there.
yeah,
And we were saying, geez, that's right by, it could have been called Evans Mills Way,
yeah.
because Evans Mill was out down that way, or Scipio's Way, or, you know, there's all kinds of different
I tell you what,
names that
I
we
think
can tie
we
into this, you
just
know?
need to have some little closer coordination when a proposed road comes up.
Yeah.
That, the thing is, when a road is coming up for, to be created,
Yeah.
maybe a little notification that you guys can come up with some suggested
Yeah,
names for that
sure,
particular
sure,
area.
but again, it's starts right at the beginning, when
Oh,
when the
absolutely.
developer comes in.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
unfortunately, that particular road was actually been on the books for 20 years,
What's that?
that Whitetail Court.
Yeah, right,
It's
yeah,
been-
so is Jackie
It's been-
Drive, you know?
It's been it's been bought and sold.
Yeah, I know
3
that,
times,
right,
so-
yeah, Damaris had it, and all
Yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah.
But so is Jackie Drive, that's
Jackie-
old now, but you know, it's like,
I don't have an issue with
yeah,
that.
okay, so just bring it to your attention.
Yeah,
see?
no, I
And-
think it's a
and
great,
as I
great
told
idea.
Donna, I said, well, actually, Mike is, the liaison for the planning board, right?
Yes,
So maybe you can bring it
I
up
will
at
bring
your
up the
meeting.
links, I will do so.
And that was my reason for
Yeah.
talking about that. So, with that in mind also, we spoke of the bridge, and we were thinking yesterday, I said, you know, why can't we put a name on that bridge? Like we can, you know, just as an example, it could be called, Stark Mill Bridge.
Now, was it
See, the-
Stockbridge before, cause we've been
It
calling
was
it,
Stark
Stark
Bridge
Bridge.
before, but, you know, like I told Donna, so we just can't go and put a sign up. You guys are the guys who decide if, you know, if it should be named, what it should be named, you know? So, we just wanted to make sure that we got it ahead to
Well,
say.
when we do the ribbon cutting, we have to have the name identified before the ribbon cutting.
That
Well,
would
she
be a
would
good
like to have
idea.
a sign there, and I said, we just can't buy a sign and plop it in there, you know?
I bet you if you presented to the board
I did.
a history of the Stark Bridge and what was there, and a little bit of the history about the mill.
Yeah, I think they
Then
already,
I-
I think
that-
most of
because
them
still-
have the history, know the history of the mill.
Did you brought that whole information, the history of the Stark Bridge before the selectmen?
No, but I said, I think they already know the history.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you wanna come up with a specific recommendation for a name, and I think we would be more than happy to entertain
Okay.
it.
have Donna come in with you maybe and just present it to us,
Oh,
and we'll,
yeah, I can
before it's-
do that.
we'll make a motion on
Yeah.
it that night,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right, so that's what I was bringing up, so, okay, so we can come up with that and then
Yeah.
talk to you, and, I mean, we can give you even a variety of names, 2, 3 names, you know, but again, being that Stark's Mill was there,
Yeah.
we just thought maybe Stark's Mill Bridge would
And it
be
still
kinda
ties into
cool.
the brook, which
Exactly,
everybody
you know?
knows, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, so.
I-
You know, I think, you know, giving a list of names doesn't really work because, in reference to the other roads, only for, if it's down on Montalona Road, you're gonna have different names if it's over.
Yeah, right,
Andrews
right.
Corner.
No, yeah, no, I
So,
agree.
I think that, you know, it's
Yeah, because
area
it-
specific kind of. you
Right,
wanna
it is,
do.
you know, germane to the neighborhood, really.
Yeah, so having a
Name
list
is
of
germane
names
to
in
the
advance
neighborhood.
doesn't really
True.
help you. It's
But
gonna
the thing
happen.
is, being on the ground level, when it comes to the planning board, is important.
Yes, that was the reason, that was the whole reason, as far as the
You're
names
gonna have
go,
to be in charge
that can
of
be,
that, yeah.
that can be worked
Just
on
bring
after,
it up.
I
but just
think
so that way they understand that that's what we would like in town.
So it should come right at the application stage.
Right,
So
that's what I'm
that they
saying.
inform you that we have an application, do you have
Exactly.
any historic
Well,
significance for
it's-
this
I mean, again,
area that you would like to propose?
Again, we're not asking to be the people who name the roads
No,
or anything, we're just asking that
But if there's
this is
history
brought
that
to
you know
the builder's attention,
Yeah,
the developer's attention, so that
Yeah.
way, you know, he might come up with a nice name himself, you
yeah, a
know?
lot of
Main
times
Street
they
doesn't
they
work
already
for you?
have Main Street.
We have it right there.
Okay, so noted, and the thing is, I think it's a great idea. And the thing is, I think for the bridge, it's actually coming to fruition. I
Yeah,
think
right,
that's gonna
right.
be a
And-
priority.
And that's what I told her, I said, you wanna deal with this prior to,
Yes,
I said, next thing you know, you're gonna drive by and there's gonna be a plaque on it. And that's the name of the bridge there.
Crosby Bridge?
I don't think that's one's gonna work.
But no, I agree, because I think that historical names are important, and
Yeah.
we're losing touch with that.
Exactly, it kinda like keeps the history in the town, so people don't know, really, what the, you know, even if you don't know, if you ask the question, you just learned now about that, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for
All
bringing
right,
that.
all right, and that's what I had.
And I think it's, can I ask, will you be able to assist me tomorrow morning?
I brought the dolly,
Okay.
and I brought my drill and.
My ladder's already at pre-stationed over
Yeah,
there.
right. I wanna talk to you about the fire extinguishers. I
The one
found
that's,
one I have that's kitty.
okay, I'll tell you on that, and the thing is,
Yeah, right,
I don't know why I got double the order, but it worked.
but you can sell me one.
I hope you get in trouble with that. Okay, we'll close any further public comments?
We have a few items that, we could talk about in the,
Public?
yeah, in the public.
Okay, well, let's do it. This is, Police Chief Scott. You're on, sir.
If it's all right with the board, I'd like to have,
Chris, talk about it?
talk about this, three things that he's really had up here, so.
Okay.
Most appropriate thing to speak
By
on.
the way, I got feedback from the state that you already made inquiries into,
Yes. That's one of the things I was gonna.
Page's Corner. The state has already gave me feedback.
Good, good. That was one of the things, so I'll start with that, the road safety audit application.
Yes.
So the hangup right now is I contacted the DMV to get specific crash data for that intersection, because every time we do a reportable crash, there's a nodal reference point based off the traffic map. So the director's office is working on that request for me, and I wanna have their numbers, because that's the most accurate data source. The Central New Hampshire Regional Planning Commission, when the time comes, can assist me and can assist the town with the application process. The paperwork's not too bad. Of course, there's like a 100-page manual, and the application's only 2 pages. Just so it's kind of convoluted and very wordy. But it seems like a really good opportunity to get some community buy-in and some feedback from the community about concerns up there. And you know, the road safety audit, they'll have a team of engineers come out and basically survey the area. They'll look at the crash data, because the road safety audit, what they do from it is specifically data driven. It's not based on anything
Emotions.
else. It's all based on data and statistics. So that's why I'm just waiting on the DMV. But once I get those numbers, I can really hit the ground running. And the Regional Planning Commission can also do their own road safety audit. So there's a lot of gears in motion and a lot of people working on it. So I expect in the next few weeks it'll really start picking up.
Okay, it's great news. I think it's, in the master plan, so the community, we had visioning sessions. That was a recurrent theme, that people were still concerned about the safety down there.
Right.
And I have to give kudos to at least Brian Pike, who found the link for us, and found the in into the state.
Sure. Absolutely, yep. And the state got right back to me, the Regional Planning Commission got right back to me.
When I saw that, like November deadline, then I said, then I said the fine print, we welcome applications at any time.
Yeah, they said usually like if they get like a surge of applications outside of that period, they might entertain a new application period. So there might be some lag time, but at the same time, I think getting everything together will take a while.
But
Yeah, this isn't something that's gonna be solved in 6 months, it's
No.
gonna be a several-year process.
Exactly, yeah.
it's being addressed, that's the important thing.
Yeah, so I'm looking into that, keeping detailed notes and timelines and things of that sort. So once I have some more details and more updates, I'll let the board know.
Okay.
Um,
One other thing, I know you're reporting accidents, but another statistic would be, do you ticket people there?
Yep.
That would be another, for people violating like the speed and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
because our officers, they write a lot of stop sign violations.
I
up
would,
there.
I would use that as also supplemental data.
Exactly, yep.
It's a strange intersection for sure.
It is.
Even when you're familiar with it, it feels unorthodox the way you're supposed to go or stop,
Mhm.
you know? when I'm coming up from Concord, 'cause I don't do it that often, it's just strange to me that you're coming into there and you're turning in front of everybody that's
Yeah,
hopefully stopped.
yeah,
You're taking your life in your
Yeah.
hand.
I mean, it's just odd for me, you don't come into many, three ways like
No,
that in the
I
state.
think there's a handful in the state. And I think one of the good things too that'll come from this whole process is we'll be able to get some clarification as to why that intersection is the way it is. Because obviously engineering and planning went into that a long time ago.
Well, from what I heard in the past is that in the morning, if you were leaving from town here or coming from Jewett Road, because the traffic was so steady coming from Ware or the other towns towards Concord, there was just no way to get out and turn into that traffic, especially if you want to go across or turn left, not so much turning with the traffic. So that's feedback I had heard back when we had originally talked about it several years back, and so it's almost impossible to get out in that traffic when it comes steady and blocked.
Right. So I'll certainly keep the board
Thank you.
posted. The other thing, I've been working on, it's called EMS in the warm zone. And basically what it is, it's a concept where in the event of an active shooter incident or some type of critical incident, EMTs will actually go into the scene escorted by law enforcement. And the whole premise of this grant is to get protective equipment and medical equipment for first responders. It's through the state Homeland Security and Emergency Management, and there's still some funding available, and I've been working with our chief as well as
Okay.
Chief Wiggin to kind of come up with a wish list if we are awarded the grant. The only issue that I ran into is the grant has to be completed online. There's no way to save progress, and there's no way to send a link to somebody. And the first page, I put my information down as primary contact, authorizing official, which would be the chief, and then the fiscal agent. And then at the last page, I just took a screenshot of it just to kind of show the board what it is. It has to be certified by, I think, the chairman of the board of selectmen for me to send off the application. But the issue is, again, I can't send it to you, do your digital signature and send it back to me. It has to be done all at once.
Yeah.
So I'm requesting, if the board's okay with it, I would enter in the fiscal agent information, so I can send off the application.
Full grant, no funding from the town as far as you know? so
Yeah,
far?
it's a full grant up to $6,000.
I don't have any problem with it at all.
No, whose name would be on there?
Well, you're
It
the
would be
chair.
the chairman.
So,
The thing is, if you need me physically to come down to the office,
Okay,
you give me the heads up that you're working on it, I can come down to the office if
Yeah.
that's required, or you can put my name in there.
Yeah.
okay.
But we do need a copy, a solid paper copy for our records, cause it's, receiving the grant has to be accepted a certain way. and then-
Right. This is just to submit it.
application, yeah.
Yeah, just to
Yeah.
submit it, similar to the COPS grant issue that we ran into.
Writing down how you word it.
And just unfortunately, like I said, it's 100% online. I can't save progress. So once I hit that last page, realize I couldn't submit it, I have to start all over.
It doesn't
Well,
allow
I'm
to
in
print
agreement
it.
with it.
Doesn't allow to print and save like a PDF?
This is how you put my name in.
Okay.
That's the title you use, and if you did talk to me on the phone, give me a call and
Okay.
get home.
Thank you so much. I
Okay.
appreciate that. I actually hope to get this submitted tonight because it's
Yeah.
first come, first served.
Yeah,
And
but as Lean said, we probably need just a hard copy for all of
yeah,
us.
I'll make sure I get something,
Okay.
something
So,
to you folks.
Go forth and get money.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's a great program. I know Bo just got some ballistic protection for their EMTs, because you don't want EMTs going into an incident without protection, and that's really what we're trying to do is get ballistic protection, helmets, vests, things of that nature, as well as some medical kits for the police and fire department, so it's interchangeable. They're all set up the same way. So if we respond to an incident together, I can throw a pack to an EMT or vice versa. So it's all funded by the state. So figured it was a good opportunity. And then the last thing I have for the public portion, we're doing our civilian response to active shooter events training this coming Monday at 6 o'clock. So obviously members of the board are welcome, any town employees, members of the public.
Yeah, my daughter and Linda, I think, are gonna try
Yeah.
to attend.
Yep.
Is it on Hot Topics?
I don't know, I think I saw it in an email, I glossed over some emails,
What's the
I'll
date?
double check it.
It's the 29th, this coming Monday
I can put it on.
at 6
Hot
o'clock
Topics.
in the elementary school
And
library.
what about, right now, we don't have too much on the bulletin board out here.
I can start putting some things out there.
No, not the bulletin board, I'm talking about the marquee. Who maintains that?
Right now, it's an ice skating rink, so I wouldn't recommend anybody go out there, liability. But I have someone, a resident that's taken on that duty.
Okay.
Oh, you do?
Will,
Oh, nice.
Mary Bracy,
Oh,
she
yeah.
does that.
But the thing is, that's something you may wanna keep in
Sure,
mind for
yeah.
the future.
Yes.
Because the thing is, that gets a lot of attention. Keep it in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, I try to put it out as many different sources as I can. And then, March 5th, just we're quickly on the topic of these events, March 5th, we're doing a internet safety presentation, through the, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
Yeah, I saw that one too, Marcia.
That's actually almost full. We still have some spots left, but basically what that is teaching residents, specifically parents, about the dangers of social media and some of the apps that are out there now that.
He's a guest speaker you bringing in for that?
It's actually Detective Matt Fleming, who's a Dunbarton resident. He
Okay.
works for Bedford PD and is attached to the ICAC task force.
Okay, so
So he's gonna come in, it's about an hour and a half.
location with that.
That's at the elementary school library as well at 6 o'clock on March 5th.
And you'll be able to give me information, put on Hot Topics, is
Absolutely.
that already full?
I think we still have like 12 spots left, so.
Okay, maybe we should get that up there also.
Yeah.
So the one you're having Monday, is that the same response, emergency response you had a couple that I went to a
Yes,
few
yep,
weeks?
same one. We're trying to do at least 3 a year. I think we hit around 95 people last year that were trained in it.
What's
so.
the actual title that you're doing the 29th?
It's called Civilian Response to Active Shooter Events.
Chris, do you wanna mention Stop the Bleed?
Yeah. And then Saturday, March 31st at 2 o'clock, we're doing a bleeding control class. We've partnered with the fire department. They've had some of their EMTs become certified instructors in Stop the Bleed, which is essentially it's a nationwide initiative to try and teach the general public about trying to control bleeding. Because you look at an event like Vegas and a lot of these active shooter incidents, a lot of people pass away from bleeding out. So the whole idea is to get people comfortable with using tourniquets, bandages, things like that. So part of the class is a presentation and then practical application. We'll have some tourniquets and bandages people can actually apply and get comfortable using. So that's another public event that we're doing coming up. So
Okay,
so
thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
All right, before I go into non-public, I wanna bring it back to the, we can bring it back to the selectmen now, or we can just do that after? Yeah, okay, we'll defer. Leo, we're gonna go to non-public, if you just be so kind to shut it off.
Do we want to ask for any more
Are
public
you
comment?
coming
Anybody got
back?
anything?
I'm sorry,
Are you gonna have come back to the general meeting?
just, we are, yes.
You want?
We have to come back to the general meeting and
Okay.
then we close the meeting typically.
Right, but typically you'll do the selectmen's business so that you're done with the
Do you
meeting.
wanna do that first? I
I
don't
don't
have,
have any issues with this.
okay, leave it off a few more minutes, we'll just finish up,
Okay.
and so we can get this on the tape.
Right,
Okay. Bring it back to the board. I'm gonna start with, Bob, anything?
I'm all set.
Dave, you all set? Okay, geez, I guess.
The only thing is when you were out,
Action item, yeah.
just for action items, we saw the nice labeling you did on the town budget at the bottom of it.
Yeah, with the,
Some of
yeah,
the numbers were off.
A
In
couple of, it was the page you gave us, the blown up page. But we don't have to go over it, but if you call me this week, we can go over it. It had the tax implication for 2017, and then it had the 2018 tax implication
yeah,
on
this,
the bottom of the page.
yeah,
And you blew that up for us. In 2018, I thought after we applied the 126, was gonna be a zero increase without warrant articles.
yeah, so I may not have updated this one piece.
Okay,
This, yeah, I may have
That
just
was-
changed that, but
so
not,
we caught that, and the previous page, the page before that, I think we might put some labeling on that if you wanna, I can come in and talk to you about it.
okay,
Just so at the bottom, the labeling's a little clearer to read.
on a previous page.
Yeah, the
Yes.
page before that one, I think it was. But I can come in and go over it with you.
Oh, and that, I think I read in the minutes, it talks about the salt
Yeah,
expense.
well, Jeff had mentioned that he thought when he purchased that salt, because the bill came in 2018,
Yeah.
it was coming out of that budget,
Right.
he didn't realize it was coming out.
That's the reason for the overage,
So
and you
he-
guys approved this to go,
Yeah,
right.
this is the proper way to report
And he
it.
apologized for
Oh,
going over it,
okay.
cause he
Yeah.
didn't expect to go over
Right,
his
yeah,
budget, so
yeah.
he was just apologizing for that and
Um,
penny planning on it because the
Okay, so I
previous
think
year
then
wasn't that way.
the comment in the body of the minutes is not clear, so you'd like to type something in this,
And some,
right, against.
Yeah, cause you had given us blown up so we could look at them and see them better, and I couldn't understand a couple of the numbers, so I wanted to
Okay.
make sure it's clear.
All right, then I'll give you a call and work on that.
Yeah.
okay, welcome back, Lean. It's
Thank
good to
you.
see you back. Corbin, do you have anything for the group? As far as the notes, are we all set, we'll keep it going? Lean, I don't think you have anything, you're gonna have to
No.
just catch up tomorrow?
Yep,
Okay, now we're gonna, you can